numbers for that?
Right. No. When she talks about it, scroll down, she talks about it. You'll click and go to that page, but don't click on any interviews or anything like that. She'll be telling you they take too long.
Yeah, it's got a setting so when you turn it on, it recognizes the clock. You guys ready? All right, transform you.
When I say the business, and when I talk about it, when I say education.
Okay. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, Transform You!
Presenting your Transform You team. I got Janet, McAllister, Michelle, Petersen, Reilly Belli, Paula Tretter, Cary Harvengt. Cary Harvengt.
That's right. So, a year ago, I attended I attended ILA conference, and I sat in on a session called I ILEAD U, and I was very, very excited. Right after the session, I ran out and found my director, and with her blessing, she's like, go for it. I talked to Michelle, talked her into joining the team, and then I sent out emails to our neighboring libraries, to the directors, and they were like, sure, we'd love to join you. And I got 3 new members who I had never met before, which was really exciting.
It's very weird. We live very close, but didn't know each other.
Yes, we did not know each other. So that is how Transform You was formed. And working together, we decided what did all of our libraries have in common. And of course, unemployment. We pulled up the statistics, and Madison County was at 9.7%, the state of Illinois was at 10%, and the national rate was 9.6%. So it wasn't only our communities, it's everyone's community need.
And we felt like libraries are doing so much already. We do resume building, interviewing, different things like that, and so we wanted to take it up to the next level and focus more on starting your own business or adults that needed to go back to school. Once we had our idea of what we wanted, we started to get our creative juices going. And we began first by trying to come up with a logo that was something that could be easily identified, something that would mean something to people almost immediately. And so we started designing our logo for Transform You. However, I am not artistic. But luckily, I'm married to a graphic designer. So I brought home the horrible thing I had created. He said, oh, no, no, no. And he created our Transform You logo for us for free. Well, I have to live with him, but that's okay. And so then we decided to take this idea even further and start calling our libraries that were participating, saying that they had a Transform You campus. So that then it's an identifiable thing that we could market, and anyone who was looking for help in the small business arena or going back to school could look and see if their library had a campus, a Transform You campus on it. We also created book kits, business book kits that you can check out. There's one at all the libraries. They have a binder in there that has the state forms that you would need to start out. They have books that are in there that talk about starting your own business. And we even purchased pocket projectors and flip videos that people can check out and use to help create their presentations. Whether you're going back to school and you have to create a presentation, or you're trying to sell your new business idea. Some of the promotional materials that we started is that we made business cards that have a QR code. Yay, I made a QR code and it worked. And we had brochures that we created and designed to market to other libraries to come and maybe start a Transform U campus on your sites. The big thing that we did is Reilly created a web page for us that started out, and we pulled together information on the web page that's transformuportal.org. And Terry's going to pull that up so we can take a look at it for a moment. And we went with a very basic design. I do see nothing flashing. I think it's good. And we split the website into two parts: starting your small business or going back to school. And so when you look at our website, there's the business and there's the education. We have an interactive map similar to what the engaging ones have that shows who our partners are, where our libraries are, and where like the local schools are, things like that. And we'd love to continue to add to this map. And the final thing that we also put in part of this is that our community partner, SCORE, came in and is bringing programs for free to the library. At Glen Carbon, they've already had one on starting your own business, and on one for people who already have a business but need to help it grow. And those had a really, really good turnout. This is a picture of someone. Here's my business card. QR code. Oh, I'm so excited when it worked. That's us when we applied for an award recently. We got together and wore our shirts and took our picture, and of course our poster session from here. What we used in creating this project was so much of the technology that we saw here or learned here, some that we purchased, some that was free to us, from web design options to Screentastic and Camtasia, video editing, and even using the social networks to try and get our Transform U out there and marketed.
So please like us on Facebook.
Yay! You can do it straight from our website, thanks to Reilly.
Yay! Hi everybody, my turn. I'm on such a great team that I forgot my standard issue uniform today, and they didn't kick me off. They found a little jersey I could wear, so that's how great they are. Like the first team, we were very fortunate, even though we didn't know each other well, and we live close though, we clicked right away. And then we were gung-ho, we had this great idea, we get to the first on-site session, and the first thing you all tell us is that we have to make a video for 5 minutes on our project. So we immediately spent hours and hours and wasted, and I do mean hours of wasting, trying to seriously contemplate our project and what it was going to be and how we could seriously describe it. And then we got really tired. And
Karen freed us and said, have fun.
And then we got slap happy, and then it all fell into place. And then we made our infamous video with the shower scene, and we all it worked out great, but we had to really realize that we needed to follow our personalities and relax and have fun, and we've been doing that ever since. And as far as community mentors, first of all, Terry Cottrell is our mentor, a great guy who has business expertise. So we are thankful that they assigned him to us. He's always been there. He helped us a lot with our book kits and binders and guided us on, because none of us are business analysts or entrepreneurs. Although, yes, well, we have a couple of entrepreneurs. I rephrase that. But he guided us on what our binders, what would be useful to put in our binders. We were very fortunate that the local Chamber of Commerce, Desiree, she got on board. She came to our meetings. She also publicized what we were doing in their local newsletters, tried to get other people on board. And David Craig, the local president of our local SCORE chapter, he provided interviews for our website and also came and is willing to do library programs. So we've been very lucky with community mentors. And also, if Terry will click on the website, aside from official mentors, we were also fortunate enough, if we click on the business link, in both areas to find residents in our area who are willing to come forward and either provide us with paper Q&A, that PDFs you can click on and read, or video interviews or audio interviews talking about their experiences. So You can actually talk to someone who's just opened a business in the last 2 years. They were very generous with their time. We have interviews of people who provide career services, an audio interview, and also video interviews. So those we thought would be very helpful for people, since we're trying to consolidate regional information into one place, so people don't have to go to lots of websites. We thought this would help. And then if we go back to the school section, again, we have, besides information that people need, we also have Q&As with adult students, and we've made tutorials, quick little 3-minute tutorials on how to apply to these 3 local colleges in our area, just to get people started so they know where to go on the website. I'm an adult, returning adult student. I got my degree as an adult not very long ago. And even though I'm a reference librarian and I know how to find information, not everyone is in that position. I even have a girlfriend who is a VP of Bank of America. She's a tough, smart girl. She works on a computer every day. She needed to go back to school, and she called me and said, what do I do? You know, here's a woman who has the wherewithal to do almost anything, but she didn't want to think about going back to school. It was daunting. So we're trying to get that consolidated in one place and make helpful little tutorials.
And we feel like, especially with adults, we are so proud and we've done so much in our lives that it would almost stop someone from taking that step to going back to school because it's a block. And so we really wanted to, as librarians, this is what we do. We bring information together and make it easily accessible. And that's what we wanted to do.
We're the bridge.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on, don't tap, I got it.
The vision. I would like to credit our grant writing team here at the very beginning for coming up with the vision. Right away, they wanted to focus on a clear, concise sentence that would sum it up. I think they did a great job helping unemployed adults reinvent themselves. Now, the focus is on adults. We know that there's a lot of high school kids going to college. Well, they've got parents, they've got counselors in the high schools, they've got all kinds of information. But for adults who maybe have been working in one field their whole life, and they haven't gone to school, they haven't used computers, it's a different scene altogether. So our focus was on adults going back to school and adults who possibly want to start their own business. Most of us, all of our libraries, I'm sure, provide, we'll help you with monster.com and we'll help you do the job search and we might help you with your resume, but we wanted to go a little bit farther and, like I said, consolidate the information. So we were happy with our vision and our little sentence.
We were.
So the process, we had the shell of the idea when I submitted the application. And when we started meeting, we did a lot of brainstorming, and everyone shared their talents and their strengths. And another thing is they really took ownership of every task that they volunteered to do. So we were lucky that we were in the same location, so we had monthly team meetings. And then Terry, our mentor, would also join us either via Skype or a telephone. With the constant email and Google Doc sharing, we were able to keep Reilly up to date with all the things that we needed to create our web page, and he did a fabulous job with that. One of the tools that we did use was Dropbox. I would do the video interviews, and then Michelle has fabulous software for editing, and I would throw that in Dropbox. She would do her magic and then throw it back in, and we had our product, and I would then send it to Reilly. So it was a great team effort.
So what have we learned in being part of this amazing project, which I really can't say enough for U ILEAD U, and for people like me who don't have their MLS, it's kind of like my synergy. It's kind of what I like. We learned technology. All of us learned, if not 1, 2, or 3 different programs that not only we can use in this project, but we can use going forward in our everyday lives or at our libraries. The relationships, I know that the engaging ones talked about this. The bond that is between this group is really amazing. And even though we were so close in geography, we were not close as libraries, and now we feel like we are. It enabled each of us to bring forth our own talents, our own ideas, and we were all open to whatever someone wanted to bring forth and try. And that's really freeing and really empowering people. And then we were all committed to a successful completion of a project. of our project, no matter what time it took. I know Reilly works and goes to school, and he still got our webpage up and running so that we were ready for ILA last week.
What I learned. I learned this team run! I feel like our program had greater chances of success because of the collaboration with other libraries, and all future grants that I write will have collaborations, not only with the community, but we'll definitely have collaborations with other libraries. And I can't wait for the next grant that I work with this year.
I learned that it's really hard to pick your community representative before you have a project. I had 2 people picked out. One was in charge of the chamber, the other was in charge of the Small Business Development Center at SIUE. The Small Business Development Center, I even stalked his office, and I still couldn't get the man to call me back. And then in the chamber, the woman who was in charge of it left the chamber. So we had to find new ones. At the chamber, we found Desiree, who really was an amazing partner. She really believes in this project and what we're bringing to our communities, and will continue to do so, I have no doubt. And then we found David Craig at SCORE, and it is such a great program that SCORE is out there, and it's in every area, and a lot of people don't know that it's there for them. So that's what's great about this, is we're kind of bringing that to the forefront, and it's something that our government, our Small Business Administration, it's funded by. So it's really great that more people are finding out about it. SCORE, does everyone know? No. SCORE, it helps entrepreneurs. It's retired business owners and people who run businesses. They retire and they volunteer their time to mentor new business owners, to help them start up. And it's not like just one meeting. They will follow them for years and be there to help them and answer their questions. It's really an amazing program. Go to our website and we have a link. I also found out that moving 4.5 hours away in the middle of a project does not mean you cannot be a useful member of the team. Even though I was far away, I never felt like I was away from this team. We Skyped our meetings, and I feel like I was just as much of an involved member, and I loved that part. And I also think that marketing companies could learn a thing or two from us libraries and what we have and what we can offer, because all of us have some of the most. I'm so glad we were only second, because I think by the time I've been like, I think we have some great, wonderful, creative people here. Reilly.
I learned that changing your mind is a sign of intelligence. I don't know how many times. Teamwork is great if you have our team. Creativity is essential in the library world. We all have to do it every day. UIS has the best French toast. And share your ideas with teammates. They can only make it better.
Hey, Paula.
Hey, Paula.
What I learned. Libraries can truly benefit from technology. Most people assume libraries are just books. They're like, the library is a book. That's the only assumption they have. From my experiences here at ILEAD U, I'm able to take back what I've learned and prove that libraries are not just books. Attending ILEAD U can get you a promotion. I am now the assistant director of our library. Actually, before we did not have an assistant director position. They actually created this position and assigned me to it. So, library employees are the smartest, most creative people ever. I want to thank everyone for making me realize that, because some of the libraries that you work with, there's always those people that are like, no, we want to focus on books, we want to focus on books. But thank you to you guys for making me realize that we can be more than that. The creation of a website can seem like a scary process, but it's a challenge worth taking. Thank you, Reilly, for making me realize that.
And what did I learn? Well, I already knew that librarians were great because I work with them every day. But this group reminded me that when you have a bunch of energetic people who have a vision and they're focused, what I thought was the greatest thing was we'd say in a roundtable session, this needs to be done, this needs to be done. Instead of begging someone to do it. People would not only volunteer, they'd have it halfway done before we were even left the meeting. I mean, it was just great. And when librarians set their mind to something, they really can get stuff done. It's also been so wonderful to meet everyone from my area. I know I can count on them now. I'll probably drive Reilly nuts with my website questions and emails that he'll start ignoring. But anyway, they can help me and I will help them. And it's great. That brought our region, I think, it'll make us stronger. Excitement is contagious. We already know that. And then personally, I learned how to use Camtasia for tutorials. I had called around. Before we decided how to make a tutorial, I called around and asked libraries that I liked what I saw on their website, and I would email and say, your website looks great, I love this on screencast tutorial, what did you use? And of course, no matter what state they were in, they emailed me right back and were glad to share all their information with me, helped me make the decision to purchase Camtasia with the grant money. And believe it or not, I'm technically literate about here, not up here, and I was able to teach it to myself, and it was really fun to use, and I advise all of you to give it a try. And I also got to edit and create video and audio interviews for the website, so I was really glad to advance my technology skills.
As the team's mentor, I work in higher ed, so I spent a lot of time with people who theorize about virtual teams and using technology effectively in marketing and advertising and so on and so forth. And this particular team, I've never actually seen anyone in my higher ed realm do what they've actually done. So I definitely feel like what I learned in this project was finally I got a chance to see what we talk about all the time come into actuality. I led a whole campus-wide project on trying to figure out what was the best way to communicate virtually, and we costed it out, priced it, and did testing and had committees, and then we proceeded to absolutely do nothing with it. We used Adobe Connect before, we use Adobe Connect now. And this particular team did it organically, and without a lot of my own tutelage. I didn't feel like I was forcing anything upon them, and they, on the other hand, really took the ball and ran with it, and it allowed us to leverage the time so much better. I mean, we only meet three times in this 1 9-month period. So how do you get together and how do you make things happen? And this particular team was really, really excellent at doing that. At the bottom of the slide, I put sometimes buying the whole bottle is better than drinking glass by glass, and that's just an inside joke to when
it's true.
Yeah, when I first got together with the team, it was pretty obvious that my personality was quite a bit different than some of the other folks. And you take an academic librarian and you mix them with public librarians, and then interesting things start to happen. Michelle's sitting at the table with a whole bottle of wine, and I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, wow, what is that there for? And she explained to me that it's cheaper than drinking glass by glass. Wow, for all the things that we think about in academia, I really have to remember as a library director to continually challenge myself to think differently. And that's the foil for the patrons who come to this project. When you're an adult and you're out of work, or you've been laid off, or you have to retool, or these other buzz terms that we use, it is thinking differently about who you are, and the library is coming in to really help you out, because there's nowhere else to go until you enroll at college and you come see me or David or Alan, and then we try to help you do what these folks already know how to do, and they've done so well.
Thank you. Just hopefully it will work. A little video. Fail. That's okay. When you go to our website, which I know all of you will see a wonderful accolade from one of our board trustees at Glen Carbon that we did talking about the Transform U project and what it meant to the community. So you'll all love it.
And
I edited it.
I paid her. No,
no, it was great. Another thing that we had is that we just received received last week from ILA. We were the winner for Best Branding for a budget under $1 million for their marketing and PR committee. And we also were able to do a poster session to introduce Transform U. I don't know who talked us up in one of the programs, but we had, so thank you, whoever did it, because we had so many people come up and go, I heard about this earlier. And we're like, really? Cool. And so we were able to do that, and we were right next to some of our iLeaders, which was so awesome. It was just like coming home, and it really made it wonderful. And another little thing about this team and how we really tried to keep it together, we received this award, and as you can see, the award said, to Glen Carbon Centennial Library, because that's where Janet works and that's who got the award. But Janet took it upon herself, and for each one of us created our own certificate that says is for Transform U, so that none of us forgot that we all did this together, and it wasn't just one library. And I thought that just tells everything about what this project's been like.
Yes, thank you, Janet.
Looking to the future, we are definitely applying for the Sparks Grant. We know that we will be expanding the Transform U campuses statewide, and heck with that, let's go nationwide!
And again, we also have people that we want to give a special thanks to Terry for being an awesome mentor, to Desiree Benioff from the Chamber, to David Craig from SCORE, to my husband Brett, who designed it. DreamHost has said that I will host our website for a year for free, so that's wonderful. We want to thank IMLS and the entire I Lead U family for this. We'll put it out here.
There you go.
There's some brochures up here too. If you guys want to join or contact us. Well, while everyone's getting their candy and their goodies, does anybody have any questions for us? Yes, Sir David?
So what would you do if you got the $1 million for your marketing campaign?
Retire. You know, I see this, even though this project is geared towards starting your business and going back to school, I think as a marketing campaign for all libraries, and with the idea that libraries are about transforming yourself from the youngest to the oldest, bringing out the information, I see it as the possibilities being endless.
And we're on the front lines. We all know that in public libraries. We fill a need where there are a lot of people that cannot afford to go get help that we can afford to go do on our own. They need us. I help them every day. And so if any other library that wants to join in, it's such a simple process. We've got the template. We've got everything. All you have to do is tweak a few things to customize it to your area.
We would love it if on our front page we've got an Illinois map that you could click on the region that you are part of. You would click on that part and you would find the Transform U campuses in your area that are there to help you.
So please contact us if you would like to join our group. We're really excited. We've got brochures, and emails, and everything.
Any other questions? Yes, Alan?
I'm very impressed with your libraries working so closely together on this project. Do you envision that some other things, some other connections from other people in your libraries will also take fire and move along?
You know, we had this conversation last night, actually, Cary was talking about, for some reason in the library world, we've almost created an adversarial feeling towards libraries. And for us, between them, but yeah, not towards them, but between the libraries. And for us, it really showed us how you can work together to highlight what each library, you don't all have to do the same thing, or even if you are doing the same thing, you can still learn from each other. And it really helped break down, and I think for us in our region, really is created, and our feeling towards each other will be picked up by our staff members and things like that.
Well, and you know, just briefly, you know, Paula's library, for instance, is a lot smaller than mine. Mine has a meeting room, theirs doesn't. They can't really do adult programming, so there's no reason why we couldn't co-sponsor it, have it at ours, or even Skype the program to her patrons. And Reilly, who's really good at websites, already helps smaller libraries around him. So, you know, the more you get to know your coworkers, your peers, all we can do is just start drawing from each other's talents and resources.
And in this day and age, we have to draw on each other's resources more and more. Yes, sir.
To build on Alan's question, I think Terry brought a great perspective to this group. So do you feel, as all public libraries, that you would turn to academic libraries to form partnerships in the future?
I would love to. The tutorials that Cary built, I would love to see some of the schools maybe build their own and let us use. Because there is an assumed, that's what we talked about a lot, this assumed knowledge for adult patrons, that you can open up a website and know what a bursar's office is. And those kind of things. And that will shut someone down if they don't know. And we want to create something that will really help them to get past that fear. So I think it would be a perfect partnership, especially within your regions, and to have that be part of the campus.
Public libraries are more apt to get we live right by a university. They're busier, and Terry's description is perfect. I worked at an academic library for 2 short years, and I loved the job, but my biggest frustration was, my gosh, they will talk for 3 committee meetings in 4 months on whether to move a piece of furniture from this room to this room, and nothing ever, you couldn't just go do it, you know, and it just drove me nuts. But I love academic libraries, and if they're willing to work with public libraries, let's go. You know?
Again, it's not an adversary. We all are going for the same goal. Helping our patrons, serving our patrons. We shouldn't be adversaries of each other.
All right, thank you very much. So I just wanted to point out a few things. One is I love this kit idea. It's like what the most mainstream, retrograde, conservative, bun-wearing librarian in the world goes, oh, it's something I can circulate, and what they're circulating is empowerment and participation, and then we'll sneak them into what we're really doing. Love it. The other thing I love is that for all the great highfalutin language we use about transformation and being agents of social change, that doesn't mean we don't get to pick up pom-poms and really enjoy it. All right, we're taking a break. 10:30, we're back here for the next group. Great job, all.